No, he literally had like this like little model thing. And I looked at them, I was like, those look like, I don't know, like you want like oval olives. Like, and I was just like, what are those? It was funny to me because I was like, what the hell am I looking at? Like, well, your testicles should be like,
Yeah, normal, right?
yeah, like that's what normal should look like. If it doesn't, that's indicating that you're probably not getting enough fat inside of your diet. So you need to add a little bit more fat. You know, it's contrary to the unpopular opinion that they have. Well, more popular now in mainstream because they promote it everywhere. But fat is not your foe. Fat is not the foe. Right? Your real foe are things like your sugar, things like your salt, your unhealthy fats.
I have a question for you. And the good thing you touched that subject about fat. What's a good fat versus what's not?
Sure.
There's a lot of again. I like to investigate before I do something, and to get real information. And go. There's a saying that, for example, the fat that comes from the pork is not a bad fat either. If you want to, for example, like stir fries. And I don't know how true this is, but this is very big in the Latin community. Maybe you can take this a little bit, but because they say it's natural, and but again, I'm not. That's your experience.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, so and I can kind of like you want some of that. So the term natural it's kind of different because there's a lot of like chemistry and science that goes into it. I'll give you guys kind of like the layman's terms for it. So natural fats are like the fats that aren't altered or adulterated. So it's like it comes from the animal itself. Trans fats, those are like adulterated or like things like hydrogenated oils or like trans fats that can be found inside of like the carcasses of like different kinds of animals. Those are bad kind of fats because your body metabolizes it the same way that it would because it resembles a trans fat. I don't mean to edit this part out, but like like shit, I don't know if I can say it.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, freedom of speech. Good.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, man.
All right. Genders.
Oh, you can say it. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead, man.
So you guys know that term like cisgendered, transgendered.
Yeah.
So the best way that I can describe it is, your cis is like your natural, your trans is like your unnatural that resembles natural.
Okay.
So if you have like a trans man, I always get confused with it. It's like it was like naturally a female, but it has altered itself or adulterated itself, changed itself chemically to resemble it, but you are actually this. The exact same principle applies to when you look at fats. Cis fatty acids, right? From chemistry, it's just kind of like it looks like this.
Okay.
Right? Trans looks like this.
So it has a complete chemical.
Has a different structure, and why that's important is because a regular fat can look like this.
Okay.
A regular fat can look like this, right? Trans fat also looks like this. But what's important is you look at kind of like there's like a double bond or whatever. If it's like a cis fatty acid, it'll look like this, and it'll change it from going like this to a break, and then kind of look like this. So now the body can metabolize that differently than it would for if it was just like this. Trans fat is the same chemical like structure as like one of those cis fats that might break this way, but it resembles the fat like this. So it breaks it down in it breaks it. It's the same molecule, but like it looks like the natural one, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So it takes more energy to have to break down the trans fats.
So your organs are actually working hard.
Yeah. So exactly, that's exactly what it is. So it takes more energy for you to have to break down those trans fats, which is why they say don't consume any amount of trans fats. There's like a healthy limit. They say like 0.5 grams or whatever for trans fats. You'll find that inside things like peanut butter.
Really? For trans fats and peanut butter?
You can find,
Oh.
If you look at like some nutrition labels, you can actually see it. It'll put it on there. This is another thing that's important with labeling too. Like the FDA, they regulate like the labels and everything. So they'll put it out there, hey, you have to put on there like how much fat is inside of it, right? Some companies thought they were smart, so they're like, okay, cool, we'll just put on there total fat, and that's it. But the FDA get caught on to it, they're like, no, you have to put on every different type of fat, monounsaturated, trans fat. And then when they started to have to put that on there, now people were saying, oh, there's like 5 grams of trans fats inside of this, right? For like, or it might say like, 2.5 for like one serving. Not everybody follows certain things, right? Just go with, how they like. So then, like, if you really think about it, okay, now I'm actually consuming like 5, 7, 10 grams of trans fats, which isn't healthy. So you can imagine, like, you're consuming that unaware over time, and now you start to run things like congestive heart failure, high blood pressure, right? Now you compound that with sodium, salt, right? And you're not tracking any of that, right? Now you can just kind of, you can think about like the rabbit hole of effects that it can have on your health for the long term. So, that's just kind of my take on
I
it.
like your explanation because again, this is not to anyhow be against a certain belief or anything. It's just
Right, yeah.
an explanation. So whoever wants to take this in the wrong way, it's your perception, your perspective, your perspective. No harm's done, but I do see exactly where you take genetics. You're talking about genetic change, how that
Yeah.
looks different when it's something is organic versus something that's inorganic. And I actually understand with the explanation what you tried to mean.
I just want to make sure that was,
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah, it was safe. It wasn't arbitrary, obligatory, or whatever.
Exactly.
It was a safe explanation.
Again, where the intention here is for us to broaden our perspective, and I think you did really well with that. What's interesting about what you're saying is about these different type of fats, like all the damage it can do to you, right? What would you say is like, for example, like a safe haven of some food selection that you know is always going to be the best for your body? And I will give you a testimony, right? I was getting a few weeks ago because I'm going back working out, eating a little bit more healthy now, little by little, getting into a better healthy routine of diet. And one of the things that I found was eating kiwi, like just like half of a kiwi a day, like helped me with getting like relief from getting bloated.
Good.
Yeah, and it was better than medicine. I swear to God, man. I just like, I have a friend who's like, hey, do this. I took one, and I was like I wasn't gassy or felt like bloated anymore.
Good.
And it works, and I feel great, right? What are those natural foods that you would say like go always? That's it.
Whole earth grown food sources. If it has to be processed in a plant or it comes from a bag, it's processed, it is not a good food option. I understand. Everybody understands this. Life kind of seek convenience, especially when you're like, working. Right? You're going from this place to that place. You need to eat something. You're gonna go, this is convenient. 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be processed. So your best bet for safety net is to go with something that was never put inside of a right? Always safe, right? Nuts, seeds, beans, vegetables. These are all safe bets, eggs. Something that was as close to natural as possible. Because the more unnatural or processed it's been, the more rated it was, the more processed it was, the more things they can add inside of it, preservatives, additives, right? Like salt, different coloring agents, different what are called like emulsifiers, different. This is all like in the chemistry behind it, which are all labeled on the ingredient label. People aren't taught about these kind of things, so they don't know things like, if you're gonna drink like a regular can of Coke versus like sugar and stuff, right? You would kind of think, okay, this has like no calories or whatever, right? You don't know the side effects that come along with continually consuming this. You're just thinking, oh, I don't have any sugar this time.
That's crazy.
To be further on the truth, you know, later on down the line, years later, you're not gonna have that amount of like calories or whatever, right? But like you're going to have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, from like the sugar alcohols, which is what they are, because if you're broken down the same as sugar, tastes like. Yeah. So things like that, I just feel like those kind of things need to be taught to people a little bit better.
That's interesting. And these sugars that you put to make the 0 calorie effect, they're chemically done, right?
Sugar alcohols.
Throughout.
Yeah, sugar alcohol. So it's like it's kind of like a dextrose, like sugar molecule with like an alcohol attached to it. Chemically speaking, it doesn't break down the same way as sugar, right? Like glycolysis, that breaks down a certain way. Your body, has a whole metabolic process for it. Sugar alcohols aren't broken down.
I recently just got a drink it was like the electrified drink, whatever those.
Electrified drink?
Yeah.
Is it like electrolyte kind of drink? What is it?
Yeah, it's like electrolyte kind of drink. Well, they market it as electrolyte.
Yeah.
And then I was reading the back label and I was like, oh crap, 36 grams. It was like 15 grams of sugar per serving. And there was like 2 servings in the drink. And I was like, 30 something grams of sugar. Right, and I bought it. I was like, I'm thinking this is going to be a healthy drink. This is going to get me like all hydrated for the day. I take a sip. I'm like it tastes a little nasty. I was like, it tastes like medicine. Well,
okay.
Anything else? And I didn't have fully understand it. I read the back. I don't understand any of the nutrition stuff on the back.
Yeah,
but I'm reading. I'm like seeing what I know about like the sugar in it, like grams. I'm like 30 grams in this bottle. Like what?
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's really important as well. If you look at the labels on the back, there's a sugar section, but there's also an added sugar section.
Yeah, it was.
So if you look at added sugars, it's bad.
Help us continue to embrace these human experiences and explore more about ourselves and others by just subscribing. If you like our content, definitely comment, share it. But also, if you want to be part of our podcast, all you have to do is leave a comment and tell us what you want to talk about. Remember, this is the platform for the people, and we're here to explore those life experiences that are very unique to you and to everyone else. Don't forget to subscribe.